Ladies and gentlemen, hi from Luxembourg City and welcome to the 2024 edition of the CEV European Cups. Now, we just finished our last season for the 2023 season, but we're ready to launch the new campaign. And with record-breaking numbers, over 200 teams will compete in the 3 competitions for both genders. Now, I'm really happy and proud and actually honored that we're having our 4th straight year hosting this event here in the Broadcasting Center European. And with that said, I would like to introduce my colleague and my dear friend, Federico Fedrado, who will once again guide us through the process.
Thank you, Norisha, for the nice introduction. It is my pleasure to be with you today. And with all those following this drawing of lots from afar, I guess there are many now tuning in. And as you said, we just finished yesterday almost. I mean, it feels like yesterday, the last season, and we are ready to go with another campaign. And this one will be taking us all the way to the spring of 2024, when we will be crowning the next champions in all of the European Cups.
That's right, Federico. Now, we do have a very busy and extensive program today, since we will be drawing from 3 competitions for both genders, including the 4th round of the Champions League. But Federico, can you please give us an introduction of the steps and the procedures?
Yes, Norisha, as you said, we have a very busy program today. We are drawing all of the European Cups today and all of the rounds. We start with the Champions League, which is our elite product. And we start with the early rounds of the Champions League. And I just wanted to have a little bit of an introduction to it, because in the past, our fans, they know that we do play home and away matches in these early rounds as well. But this will not be the case this year, as the calendar is very tight after Eurovolley, and this is something that we look forward to. Some of the national teams will be trying to fulfill their dreams of competing at the Olympics next year. So there is not much time, and for this reason, instead of playing home and away matches in the early rounds, there will be single round-robin tournaments. It's a change compared to the past, but it's also something that allows us to fit into a busy schedule for teams and players alike.
Federico, it sounds like we got a lot going on in volleyball, but a lot of good things. And with that said, to get the feel of what the Champions League truly is about, let's take a look at some really, really exciting highlights from the last season of 2023.
The new chapter begins. Defend a legacy, or go for your path to glory.
So welcome back to the CEV European Cups drawing of lots for 2024. Before we move on, I would like to invite 2 elite volleyball players who are here with us, and they will help assist us today in the drawing of lots. And one feels at home here in Luxembourg because he was actually born here in Luxembourg. And the other player was just recently crowned the winner of the Champions League from Vakif Bank, Istanbul. Please help me welcome Alexia Karutasu and Kamil Rikliki. Sorry, Kamil. Really? Thank you. So I didn't butcher your name, huh?
Hello.
Welcome, Camille. Welcome, Alexia.
Hi.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. It's nice to have you both here. So I know that probably in the past, before you watched this from afar, you know, on the internet, but now you're actually here in person, in the flesh, and you both look really, really nice.
Thank you.
Your Easter best on. Looks really good. I'm used to seeing you both, you know, in your uniforms,
jersey,
yeah. But you look really nice. So thank you for being here. But what does it feel like to be here right now?
For me, it's a big pleasure. However, on the other side, I also feel the responsibility on my shoulder, right?
Yeah.
To make my colleagues and the people in front of the TV happy with my job. I hope they will be satisfied.
I think they're all anticipating and ready to see what you're going to draw. And Alexia?
It's an honor to be here. I'm just so happy to be here to draw the teams, and wishing luck to everyone and hope the best.
Yeah, and you do know that you are representing hundreds of players who will step on the court the next season. So, I mean, do you feel honored?
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Finally, to be here and represent that many people and players.
It's really cool. So we feel honored, right, Federico?
Absolutely, yes.
To be here
Every
with
time
them.
we step onto this stage.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, just to be next to them.
Of
I'm
course,
honored. I'm here to be on the stage, but I feel honored to be with them.
Absolutely.
So, Federico, we are ready. So, could you please guide us with the next?
Yes, yeah. We start, as I mentioned before, with the early rounds of the Champions League, and we start with the women's competition. We will be showing now a chart which shows the procedure that we will be following. So we have 8 teams due to contest the early rounds of the Women's Champions League. They have been divided into 4 cups according to the latest Champions League ranking. Just as a reminder, this ranking takes into account the performances of teams from the same national federation over the last 3 seasons, but without counting the one that we just finished a couple of months ago. These will be drawn across Pool 1 and 2. And with this in mind, then we will continue with the second round. And we will see how teams can make their way to the forefront, which is the group stage of the competition and the place to be, so to speak. This is a women's draw, so for this we need the help of Camille. And we start then with the draw for the first rounds. As I said, we have Pool 1 and Pool 2, and the first cup with 2 teams, the higher ranked ones out of those that are involved in the early rounds. Camille, please go ahead. So we go from left to right, so the first team to be drawn out of this cup will go into Pool 1.
Thank you. So... what we have here. It was a bad idea to put lotion on.
So, Nourisha,
Okay.
that is Mladost Zagreb of Croatia, a team that has already contested the Champions League a number of times. So they take the first row of Pool 1. Camille, please. We know that's pretty evident, but we have to be fully transparent and to follow the rules. So taking the first row in Pool 2. That is the team of Kralovo Pole Brno of Czechia. And that is one of a few teams, Nourisha, that will be making their first ever appearance in the Champions League this season. So there is a lot happening. I mean, we have more established teams that are playing Champions League time and time again. But there are also some newcomers, and the team of Brno is one of these newcomers that are making their first appearance in the most prestigious competition in Europe. We continue now with Cup 2, where we have another 2 teams, OK Gacko of Bosnia and Herzegovina and CEST Alba Blaj of Romania. Kamil, your turn again. So joining Mladost Zagreb in Pool 1. That is OK Gacko of Bosnia and Herzegovina, and that's another team that will be making their first appearance in the Champions League. So a warm welcome to these elite clubs, so to speak, and we wish them, as with any other team, the best of luck.
Yes, we welcome them with open arms.
So Camille, please. We finalized the second draw, so Cup 2, and joining Kralovo Pole Brno of Czechia in Pool 2 is a team that has already quite a long history in the Champions League, and that's CEST Alba Blaj of Romania. And you might remember that in 2018 they hosted the Final Four of the competition in Bucharest. Right. Let's move on to the next cup and the next draw. We have Cup 3. We are moving, let's say, all the way down, I mean, when it comes to the Champions League ranking, and we do have now CEV Gran Canaria of Spain and Asterix Avo Beveren of Belgium involved in this draw. Camille, your turn again. And we always go from left to right. So this first team will be joining Pool 1 and the likes of Mladost and Gacko, and that's Belgium's Asterix Avo Beveren, the multiple Belgian national champions. I would like to remind Nourisha that a few years ago, our leadership started a revolution in the Champions League. Now the door is open, at least potentially, for the national champions of all national federations to register and to play in the Champions League. And we are happy that so many teams are seizing the chance and testing themselves on this stage.
And it's so evident now, right, with the new teams that we are seeing coming up.
So Camille, let's finalize Cup 3. So taking the third row in Pool number 2, and joining then Kralovo Pole Brno and CES Volley Alba Blaj are the Spanish champions of Gran Canaria. We are just about to complete the draw for the first round of the Women's Champions League. We have the last cup, cup number 4, which involves the teams of Hapoel Kfar Saba of Israel and Oka Herceg Novi of Montenegro. And we just carry on with the same, Kamil. So the first team that you draw out of this cup will complete Pool 1. Norisha, now that's your turn. And it is Oka Herceg Novi of Montenegro. And allow me to spend a couple of words on this team. This is another team celebrating their first appearance in the Champions League. Actually, last year they had their first appearance in the European Cups overall. They played in the Challenge Cup, and they had a fabulous season when it comes to domestic competitions in Montenegro. They didn't drop a single set.
Wow, wow.
So that's very remarkable, and now they will be testing themselves in the Champions League in Pool 1. Let's finalize this draw and cup number 4.
Thank you.
So joining Brno, Blaj and Gran Canaria in Pool 2.
And
These are the Israeli national champions of Hapoel Kfar Saba. Thank you, Kamil. This was the first draw. We have now the full composition of Pool 1 and Pool 2. I just would like to remind everyone that the competition will continue in such a way that the 2 pool winners and the 2 teams finishing second will be advancing to the second round. Let's focus for now just on the first rounds, as these will be single round robin tournaments. Who is going to host? That's a question that people might ask. And all of these teams are now invited to make contact with the CEV Volleyball department by the 4th of August and to come forward with their plans to host this one tournament and to start the new season with a bang. So, as I said, the 2 pool winners and the 2 teams finishing second will be moving on to the second round. And there is just 1 pool in the second round with 4 teams. This one tournament will be hosted by the highest ranked of the 4 teams still in contention. And with this being said, at the end of this single round-robin tournament, the number 1 and the number 2 from Pool 3 will be continuing their journey in the 4th round of the Champions League. All other teams contesting the early rounds of the Champions League, but failing to do so, will still be in contention for European glory because they will be moved to the CEV Cup and they will be chasing further success there.
Federico, thank you very much for that explanation. That sounds very, especially for those teams the Champions League for the first time. And with that said, we will move on because we do have more drawings in this competition, but for the men's competition now. And Federico, can you please guide us through this with now the assistance from Alexia?
Yes, I will do so with much pleasure. We do have a higher number of registered teams in the men's competition compared to the women's competition that we just did draw. We do have as many as 14 teams. These will be drawn across 4 pools, Pool 1, 2, 3 and 4, as you can see from the charts. The teams have been divided, as we did before with the women's teams, into 4 cups according to the latest Champions League ranking. What is important is that because we have 14 teams and we do have 4 pools, there will be 2 pools with 4 teams and 2 pools with 3 teams only. So you will see in a moment when we have the last draw for the early rounds of the Men's Champions League that there will be 2 buys, meaning that, as I said, there will be 2 pools with 3 teams only. Well, as Kamil did with the women's early rounds, now we need Alexia to take center stage for the men's first rounds. Here we have the cups, and we start with cup number 1.
Thank you.
And we always draw from left to right, and these teams will be taking the top row in each of the pool. We start with Neftochimik Burgas of Bulgaria, taking the top spot in Pool 1. These are the highest ranked teams out of those registered for participation in the early rounds of the Champions League. Alexia, please go ahead. As we move from left to right, this team will be joining Pool 2 and take the top row there. And that is Partizan Beograd of Serbia. This is a club with a long history, not just in volleyball, but in other sports as well. And they are back after a few years for glory in the Champions League. Alexia, 2 more teams left to finalize Cup 1. And the next one will be placed into pool number 3. And these are the Finnish national champions of Fort Levoranta Sastamala. They have been around for a while, they have achieved quite some success in the Champions League, and they are back for more glory. Let's finalize this first draw. And cup number 1. It's pretty obvious, but as I said before, we have to be fully transparent and follow the rules. And Mladost Zagreb of Croatia are the last team from Cup 1 left, and as a result, they join Pool 4. Thank you. We continue now with Cup 2. And we are moving a little bit further down when it comes to the Champions League ranking. The 4 teams involved are Arcada Galați of Romania, Hypotirol Innsbruck of Austria, Olympiacos Piraeus of Greece, and Budva Budva of Montenegro. Alexia, please go ahead. So we go from left to right. So joining Burgas in Pool 1. Let's see what you have in store, Nourisha. And that is Montenegro's Budva Budva. The next team drawn out of this cup will be placed into Pool 2, joining Partizan Beograd.
Thank you.
And that is Olympiacos Piraeus of Greece. Well, I would like to spend a couple of words on this team as well, Nourisha, because they won the Challenge Cup just a few months ago in front of a spectacular audience. More than 10,000 people came together to cheer them on. And now they have the right to go for more glory, and they will be doing so in the Champions League. Let's finalize with the next 2 balls. This Cup 2, Alexia, joining Sastamala in Pool 3. And that's Hypotirol Innsbruck of Austria. The Austrian champions, you might remember them. They played Champions League many years in a row in the past. After a long break, they are back. And I'm sure that they are back, hungry for success.
I think so too.
Well, we finalize now Cup 2. Alexia, that's your turn. Again, joining Mladost Zagreb of Croatia in Pool 4. And that is CS Arcada Galați of Romania. Thank you. We are slowly moving forward. We have 2 more cups left, and we continue with cup number 3, which involves the teams of Dinamo Apeldoorn, OK Radnik Bielina, Fino Kapošvar, and Guaguas Las Palmas. Alexia, let's do the same. We go from left to right, from Pool 1 to Pool 4.
Thank you.
So joining the likes of Burgas and Budva in Pool 1. That is Fino Kapošvar of Hungary. The Hungarian champions go into Pool 1. The next team that Alexia will be joining Pool 2, where we already have Partizan and Olympiacos. This looks like a strong pool to be in. And the next team to join them is OK Radnik Bielina of Bosnia and Herzegovina. A warm welcome to this team, also making their first ever appearance in the Champions League. 2 teams left to finalize Cup 3. Going from left to right, we now focus on Pool 3. So joining Sastamala and Innsbruck will be Dinamo Apeldoorn of the Netherlands. And last but not least, we complete Cup 3. And Alexia is handing you over this last ball, Nourisha. So joining Zagreb and Galați,
drum roll, please,
will be the Spanish champions of Guaguas Las Palmas. Well, we are almost done, but there is 1 more cup left. And as I said when I introduced this draw and this round of the competition, there will be 2 buys, so to speak, as we have 14 teams involved and 4 pools. 2 pools will have 4 teams in the end, and another 2 will have 3. So it's in your hands, Alexia, to define the destiny of these teams and to finalize the pool composition. for the first round of the Men's Champions League? Norisha, let's see. We are all curious to find out.
And that is?
And it is Strumica of North Macedonia completing Pool 1, together with Burgas, Budva and Kaposhvar. Next, please.
Thank you.
Completing Pool 2.
Perfect.
That's a bye, so Pool 2 will feature 3 teams only. So that's all with Beograd, Piraeus and Bielina. Please go ahead, Alexia, the last 2 balls left, and we are done with the first round draw.
And Federico.
And this is SC Prometei Dnipro of Ukraine. They are placed into Pool 3, another team making their first ever appearance in the Champions League. So a warm welcome to Dnipro. Last but not least, Alexia, and we are done with this draw.
Good job, Alexia.
And the teams in Pool 4,
A second. Bye.
they are joined by a bye, meaning that we have Mladost Zagreb, Galați and Las Palmas only in Pool 4. Thank you, Alexia, for your help. I just wanted to recap the situation. I mean, as you can see, the pool composition is clear. As with the women's first round, Norisha, all of these teams are welcome to come forward with their intention to host a single round-robin tournament. They should be doing so by the 4th of August by sending their application to the CEV Volleyball department. After completion of the first round, there will be a second round. And as you can see from the charts that will be shown in a moment, there are 2 pools with 4 teams each. And actually the pool composition is already set, so there is no draw that we have to perform. And these you can read by yourself. There is the winner of Pool 1 and 4 and the second ranked team from Pool 2 and 3 in Pool 5. And then in Pool 6 we have the winner of Pool 2 and 3 plus those finishing seconds in Pool 1 and 4. In this case, I mean, the organization of the tournament will be in the hands of the higher ranked team out of those 4 that have been placed into the same pool. And what I wanted to emphasize is that because we had a late withdrawal from the Men's Champions League, it's not only the 2 pool winners that will be progressing to the 4th round, but also the second place team with the best result across the 2 pools will be continuing their journey in the 4th round of the Champions League. On the other hand, all of the other teams we have just dealt with and have drawn, they, even if they don't reach the 4th round of the Champions League, it's not over for them. They will continue their quest for success in the CEV Cup.
Federico.
I hope I was exhaustive and complete.
Thank you for the explanation. I mean, I couldn't do it. You do this very well, so thank you. Thank you. Federico, the information that you know of all these teams, you're like my human Wikipedia for volleyball.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Thank you.
But I can feel the excitement here, and I can feel the excitement also from our viewers who are watching from the internet, because we are now moving along to the drawing for the 4th round of the Champions League. And with that said, Federico, let's take a look at some highlights from the last season.
The new chapter begins. Defend a legacy or go for your path to glory.
Welcome back to the Broadcasting Center here in Europe, in Luxembourg. Before we move on, Camille, I would like to ask you, I mean, you have so much experience in the Champions League, and from your experience, what would you say makes the Champions League so special to fans, to the players, and to the media?
You have the great chance to play against teams that normally in your country, in your league, you never meet together, never play against each other. So every game you don't know what to expect. I think that's the magic of Champions League.
That's true, and it's like the best teams from the continent, right? So
Only
the
champions.
best of the best. I like that. Only champions. Only champions. So, Federico?
Yes, Nourisha, we are about to start with the draw for the fourth round, but we want to familiarize ourselves with the rules, isn't it? And
That's
for
right.
this purpose, we do have something to show.
That's right. So let's take a look at the explanatory video. Ready and good to go.
Yes, so
For the
we are
next-
ready to go, and we continue then with the draw for the women's competition and the fourth round. We have, as we just heard from the video, a number of cups, and we start with the cream of the crop, I would call it this way. So the teams representing the highest ranked national federations as per the latest Champions League ranking. And then we will continue with the next cups and finalize the pool composition for the fourth round. So Camille, it's your turn again. We start with Cup 1, and we always draw from left to right, so we go from Pool A to Pool E. So the first team that comes out of this cup, Nourisha, will be placed into Pool A, and that is Volley Milano of Italy. And I would say that the expectations are really high for this team, as Paola Egonu has announced that she's moving to play
that
there,
team.
and wherever she goes, there is a lot of buzz, and that means that the expectations are even higher than they would have been for Milano. We continue now with the next team, which will be placed into Pool B.
Thank you.
So the top row of Pool B goes to Eczacıbaşı Dynavit Istanbul of Turkey. The team that finished second just a couple of months ago. They lost in the superfinals to Alexia's team, by the way. So they are back, chasing further glory on the European stage. They won the Champions League once in 2015. Camille, please go ahead. So joining Pool C and taking the top row there, it's another elite team. And it is Fenerbahçe Opet Istanbul of Turkey. still chasing for their first Champions League title since they won the Champions League in 2012. So very hungry for this success that has been a bit elusive over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Please, Camille, go ahead. The team that you will be drawing out of this cup will join Pool D. And take the first row there. And this is Carraro Imoco Conegliano of Italy, the winners of the Champions League in 2021. Last but not least, let's finalize this Cup 1, Camille. And this team will be taking the top spot in Pool E. And that is LKS Commerce con Łódź, a team representing a city that has a close association with volleyball. So many events have been taking place in Łódź over the years, and Champions League will be back there as well. We continue with the second cup, and this is where we have to pay a bit of extra attention, Risha, because we cannot draw two teams from the same country into the same pool as we did here during the explanatory video. Camille, please.
Great job mixing those balls.
So we have Vero Volley Milano in Pool A representing Italy. And Camille has now drawn Savino del Bene Scandicci, which cannot be going into Pool A. So we move them to the next available slot, to Pool B, thus joining Eczacıbaşı Dynavit Istanbul of Turkey. This means that this team that will be drawn out of the cup by Camille will now go to Pool A. And that is Vakifbank Istanbul of Turkey. So it will be a rematch for Paula Gono with her former team.
You see Alexia.
Right in the pool stage of the competition.
Alexia's like,
now
whoa.
we continue with Pool C. Camille, please go ahead.
Thank you.
And that is Grot Budowlani Łódź. So another team from the same city contesting the Champions League, and they join Fenerbahce Opet Istanbul from Turkey in Pool C. Let's take a moment. We have 2 spots left, but we have 1 Polish team that is leading the pool, Pool E, and 1 Polish team to be drawn. We have to pay attention that Rzeszów cannot join Łódź in Pool E. But Camille, it's your turn first, and let's see what the draw tells us and what the result is. That is Developers Rzeszów. So that's a good draw, meaning that we don't have to make any changes. They join Conegliano in Pool D.
Good job, Camille.
Rzeszów, I mean, that's a volleyball city as well, like Łódź, and their women's team has become as competitive as the men's team, and they have reached also the quarterfinals in the Champions League. They put up a fight with Vakifbank, so that's a strong contender as well. Last but not least, Camille. We slowly complete the composition of each pool, and it's Volero Le Canet of France that is joining LKS Commerce con Łódź of Poland in this group. Thank you. We continue now with cup number 3. We are slowly moving down when it comes to the Champions League ranking, and we have another 5 teams to draw from left to right. We have Volley Mulhouse Alsace of France, Allianz MTV Stuttgart of Germany, SC Potsdam of Germany as well, SC Prometei Dnipro of Ukraine, and Maritsa Plovdiv of Bulgaria. We have one case where we have to pay extra attention. We have a French team in this cup, and we have a French team in Pool E, so the 2 cannot go in the same group.
Okay.
So Camille, please go ahead.
I'm sure your magic fingers will make sure that that clash doesn't happen.
So joining Milano and Vakifbank in Pool A is Volley Mulhouse Alsace of France. This means no clash with the other French team, and this is a problem that we have settled from the very beginning of the draw.
Right.
Now, next.
I think we have to thank Camille.
Well done,
Camille.
yes.
He avoided that.
Very well done. So now joining Eczacıbaşı and Scandicci in Pool B. That is the multiple champions of Bulgaria, Maritsa Plovdiv. will be the team joining Fenerbahce and Grot Budowlani Łódź in Pool C. We have 2 German teams left and 1 from Ukraine. Let's see who goes into Pool C. And that is SC Potsdam of Germany, back in the Champions League after they made their first appearance last year. Kamil, please go ahead. We are slowly emptying this cup, and the next team will join the likes of Conegliano and Developers Rzeszów in Pool D.
And
that is Germany's Allianz MTV Stuttgart, a team that has been competing in the Champions League for many years.
That's right.
And they have reached the quarterfinals as well, so they are back for more success.
That's right. And you know, I'm not biased.
Yeah,
because I'm, living in Germany, but they have a lot of history there.
Yeah, correct. Let's finalize this cup number 3, Kamil. There is 1 team left. And obviously this will be taking its spot in Pool E, joining Łódź and Le Canet, and this is Ukraine's SC Prometei Dnipro. We are almost done. We only have Cup 4 left to finalize the draw for the 4th round of the Champions League, at least as far as the women's competition goes. We have, in this case, 3 teams, let's say, whose names are already known. Vasas Obuda Budapest of Hungary, Calcit Kamnik of Slovenia, and Jedinstvo Stara Pazova of Serbia, plus 2 teams whose names are not known yet because play the early rounds to begin with, and then we will find out which 2 teams will eventually make it to the 4th round of the competition. But regardless of these, a draw has to be performed today.
Right.
So Kamil, it's your turn once more.
Thank you.
So completing Pool A together with Verovolley, Vakiv Bank and Mulhouse. That is Jedinstvo Stara Pazova of Serbia, the Serbian national champions, also making their first ever appearance in the Champions League.
Welcome to this team, right?
Now we complete Pool B, where we already have Ejacibashi, Savino del Bene Scandici and Marica Plovdiv.
Thank you.
And there is Vasas Obuda Budapest of Hungary. Completing Pool B, the Hungarian national champions. In Pool C, we already have Fenerbahce, Grot Budowlani Łódź and Potsdam. Kamil. There are 3 balls left and 3 teams, including 2 whose identity will be defined at a later stage. But this is Calcit Kamnik of Slovenia completing Pool C. We finalize Pool D and E. Starting with Pool D, and this is obviously one of the teams coming from the early rounds of the competition. And more specifically, that is the team that will be winning the 2nd round pool. Last but not least, and that's it for you for today, Kamil.
Drum roll, please.
So, completing Pool E, where we have Komercykon Łódź, Le Canet and Dnipro. Up in the 2nd round, Pool 3 of the Champions League. Thank you, Kamil, for your help. The job is done, and I think the pool composition already lets us expect some exciting matches from the start of the competition. I would just like to remind everyone that after the end of the pool phase, 5 pool winners will be moving on straight to the quarterfinals. There is a chance to stay in contention for the teams finishing 2nd and the one finishing 3rd with the best results. They will be playing a playoff round, and the 3 winners of the playoff round will then join the pool winners in the quarterfinals. From there, Norisha, it's all the way to the superfinals.
For the women, but we will continue on with the men's drawing of lots for the 4th round.
Yes, the procedure is exactly the same. This time it will be Alexia helping us with the actual draw. We have 4 cups with 5 teams. The teams have been divided into 4 cups according to the latest Champions League ranking. And we will be drawing them from left to right. And we always have to pay attention that 2 teams from the same country cannot be placed in the same pool. Alexia, your turn. We start again with the cream of the crop, so the teams representing the highest ranked national federations. And we will be moving from Pool A to Pool E.
Thank you, Alexia.
So, Grupa Zotic and Dzierżynkosle of Poland will be placed into Pool A, 3-time defending champions, 3 titles in a row. But
Wow.
they will be hungry for more success. I mean,
think so too.
you never get tired of winning, right,
Nobody
Narisha?
gets tired of winning.
Please, Alexia, go ahead with the next draw. So this team will be placed into Pool B. And that is Trentino Itas of Italy. They were the first to win the Champions League, Narisha, 3 times in a row between 2009 and 2011. They haven't won the Champions League ever since, but I'm sure that they are hoping to
come back.
be
again.
back, I mean, stronger than ever.
That's still impressive, 3 times in a
Yes.
row.
Now, Alexia, please go ahead, because this team will be joining Pool C.
I'm enjoying watching Alexia walk and draw the balls in her heels.
So taking the top row in Pool C, that's Berlin Recycling Volleys of Germany. The multiple German national champions, they have reached the semifinals of the Champions League a couple of times. Let's continue with this Cup 1, Alexia. We have 2 teams left, one from Italy, one from Poland. The first one will be going into Pool D, and that's Jaszewski Węgiel of Poland. Silver medal winners in 2023. They were just 1 step short of securing the gold medal, and the motivation will be high to try and win it this time around.
I think so too, Federico.
Let's finalize this Cup 1, Alexia, with the last team, which is in this draw. It is obvious which team it is, but let's be again fully transparent.
And professional, which we are.
And it is Cucine Lube Civitanova of Italy, the ones who won the very first Superfinals, Narisha, in 2019 in Berlin. And this is a moment that has gone down in volleyball history.
Yeah.
Well, we have finalized Cup 1. We continue with Cup 2. And as I mentioned before, when we were drawing the women's competition, this is where we have to pay a bit of extra attention in order to avoid that 2 teams from the same country are placed in the same pool. If this happens, then we will follow the rules and place this 1 team in the next available slot. Alexia.
It lies in your hand, Alexia.
This team is supposed to be joining Grupa Zotic and Dzierżynkosle of Poland in Pool A. And that's fine. It's Knak Roeselare of Belgium, so no clashes in terms of their nationality. Knak Roeselare, a team that has been around for many, many years, since the very beginning of the Champions League, actually, more than 20 years ago. Alexia, your turn again. There is Aseko Rezovia Rzeszów of Poland joining Pool B and joining the likes of Trentino Itas in this group. Rzeszów hosted the final 4 of the Champions League in 2016, back in the Champions League after a break. So I'm sure the fans, the players, everyone there is looking forward to this comeback.
Me too, I'm very sure.
Alexia, please go ahead. There is a newcomer in the Champions League, Gas Sales Blue Energy Piacenza of Italy, joining Berlin Recycling Volleys of Germany in Pool C. That's actually a team playing in the Champions League for the first time, but Piacenza as a city is a volleyball city, and the previous team from the same city did play in the Champions League for a number of years. So it's nice that the Champions League will be returning to this place where volleyball is so popular.
That's right. Looking forward.
We have 2 teams left, and that's again your turn, Alexia.
Good job, Alexia.
And no more clashes when it comes to the nationalities. So we are good to go, and we just continue all the way. Pool D and Pool E. We have SVG Lüneburg of Germany joining Jaszewski Węgiel of Poland in Pool D. Another newcomer to the Champions League.
That's right.
It's good to have so many newcomers. I mean, a bit of fresh air, but also an opportunity for new teams and new players to achieve substantial success.
That's right. Change is good sometimes.
Alexia, let's finalize Cup number 2. And then joining Cucine Lube Civitanova of Italy in Pool E. There is Grignard Mazeic of Belgium. As with their compatriots of Knack Roeselare, this is a team that has been playing in the Champions League for more than 20 years. Okay, we now have Cup 3, which involves 2 teams from Turkey, 2 from Czechia, and 1 from France. No more clashes in terms of nationality, so we just go all the way from left to right, from Pool A to Pool E, with the help of Alexa.
So no
of course.
clashes. So that
No.
means we don't have to hold our breaths.
No,
Okay.
no.
Thank you.
So we start with Pool A, where we have Kosle and Roeselare, plus Ziraat Bank Ankara of Turkey. So the Turkish team will be joining the defending champions in Pool A. Now Trentino and Rzeszów waiting to know which of the 4 teams left will be joining their pool. And that is Tour VB of France, winners of the Champions League in 2005. We continue with Pool C, Alexia. We have 3 teams left. We go from left to right, joining Berlin and Piacenza in this group. Will be Halkbank Ankara of Turkey, a team that achieved much success last year when they made it to the semis. So that was very remarkable indeed.
Yeah.
Last 2 balls for Cup 3, joining Jastrzębski Węgiel and Lüneburg in Pool D. There is Ihostry České Budějovice of Czechia, a team that has been playing Champions League now for a number of years, sometimes with some breaks in between, but they have been quite a regular participant.
And one more ball here.
Yes, the last one out of Cup number 3. And this is a team that will be making their first Champions League appearance, also from Czech Republic or Czechia, VK Lviv Praha. So the team from the Czech capital joins Civitanova and Mazeic in Pool E. We are almost done, Alexia, Norisha. We have Cup 4 left, and just a little introduction to this last draw. We have 2 teams already known, ACH Volley Ljubljana and Lisboa, Benfica. Plus, as we said before, when we did draw the teams in the early rounds, there will be 3 teams progressing from the early rounds to the 4th rounds. So it will be the 2 pool winners plus the team finishing second with the best results across the 2 pools. So those 3 teams are obviously not known as of today, but we will find out more after completion of the early rounds. Alexia, your turn again. So we complete Pool A with Kosle, Roeselare, Ziraat, and the winner of the second round, Pool 6. Alexia, please go ahead again. So completing Pool B together with Trentino, Rzeszów, and Tours. That is ACH Volley Ljubljana of Slovenia, multiple Slovenia national champions. You might remember them initially, they played as ACH Volley Bled. Now let's finalize Pool C, Alexia, where we have Berlin, Piacenza, and Halkbank Ankara.
Thank you.
And that is Sport Lisboa and Benfica of Portugal. So the Portuguese complete Pool C. The last 2 teams left are not known as of today, but we have to perform the draw and to finalize the pool composition for groups D and E as well. So joining Jastrzębski Węgiel, Lüneburg and České Budějovice is the winner of the second round, Pool 5. And last but not least, and you get the job done, Alexia,
Yes.
and very well done, actually.
In heels.
It is the team joining Pool E, which features Civitanova, Mazeic, and Lviv Praha, and that's the team that will be finishing second in the second round of the Champions League with the best result across the two pools. Well, I believe, the stage is set, Norisha, for some exciting matches right from the pool stage of the competition. And we can't wait, actually, for action to get underway.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. It's kind of quiet now, during this off season. So I'm really, really looking forward and excited when I see the teams, and we now have a small idea of who's going to be playing who. So I'm really excited. And Alexia, thank you very much for your assistance. But before I release you both from your duties, do you still feel the excitement and the adrenaline from winning the Champions League just recently, like a couple of months ago in May?
Yeah, I feel like it was yesterday. I still feel amazing. And I still can't believe it that we won Champions League and I have this medal besides the others. So I'm just so happy, really.
Where do you keep your medal?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Can I borrow it just one day so I can wear it and then take some pictures on social media?
Of course.
Okay. Thank you, Alexia. Thank you, Camille. Thank you both for being with us today and also assisting us in the drawing of lots for the Champions League. We wish you both all the best with your teams and with the next season to come. And we'll be following you both.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, even though we have completed the Champions League drawing of lots, we are not finished. So that means that you are still stuck with Federico and I, because we will now move on to the CEV Cup drawings, right, Federico?
That is correct. But before we do so, Norisha,
yes, we have a video, an exciting video with some of the clips and some really good action from the last season of 2023. Let's take a look.
You write your own story.
So welcome back to the CEV Cup drawing, and I will be your assistant. I will be the one drawing.
Yes, Norisha, and so what I just wanted to say is that we have this nice trophy that is standing here.
That's right.
And there will be new champions at the end of the 2024 season, because those who lifted the trophy at the end of 2023 are not contesting the CEV Cup this time around.
That's right.
We do have, for instance, Savino Del Bene Scandici, who won the women's trophy playing in the Champions League, whereas the team of Modena, who won the men's CEV Cup, didn't qualify for the European Cups at all, unfortunately. So there will be new champions when the season reaches its climax in the spring of 2024.
And that's what we said about this new change. You know, it allows new teams to come in and to compete. And so now we are seeing new winners. We will be seeing new winners and new teams compete. So.
Good, Norisha. So we start the draw for the CEV Cup with the women's competition, and the competition will be starting with the 16 finals. This is where we have already seeded a number of teams according to the latest CEV Cup and Challenge Cup ranking. But we do have to draw a number of other teams, those that you will be drawing yourself just in a moment. These are listed on the chart that you were shown just a little while ago. And we now move to the actual bracket. As you can see, there are teams seeded. These teams will be playing host to the return matches. It's kind of a reward for their higher ranking or the higher ranking of the national federations. We go from the top to the bottom, and Norisha, it's your turn.
All right, Federico.
So in this one cup, I just wanted to remind everyone we have the lower ranked teams registered for participation in the CEV Cup. We do also have some teams promoted from the Challenge Cup to the CEV Cup. And we also have those teams that will be failing to reach the group stage of the Champions League, but whose race in the European Cups is not over yet because they have a second chance in the CEV Cup. Plus, there is a number of buys, meaning that some of the teams seeded in the 16 finals, they will be reaching the 8 finals without contesting any matches.
Okay, thank you for that information, Federico.
Good, Nourisha. Now we are really good to go, and
Are
it's
you
your
sure?
turn.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. I'm gonna get my magic fingers ready. Woo!
So we start from the top of the bracket. So playing Tenerife Libis La Laguna of Spain. There is Crvena Zvezda Beograd of Serbia. A club that needs no introduction, I believe, with a long, successful history,
That's right.
not just in volleyball, but in many, many other sports.
That's right. So they have a history.
Shelmy Brno of the Czech Republic, or Czechia, as we call this country nowadays, is the next seeded team. So, Nourisha, please go ahead.
And their opponent will be, drumroll please.
They are due to play against Szent Benedek Balatonfüred of Hungary, making their second straight appearance in the European Cups after their debut last season. We move down to FC Porto of Portugal. So, Nourisha. And that's VC Oortegem of Belgium. So the Belgian team will be hosting the Portuguese team first and then travel to Portugal for the return game. Béziers VB of France is the next seeded team, position number 8.
And that's who they will play.
And that is Bimal Jedinstvo Brčko of Bosnia and Herzegovina. You might remember this team from the Champions League early rounds over the last few years. They are back for the next European campaign playing CEV Cup this time around. The next seeded team is Nova KBM Branik Maribor of Slovenia. And as with all of the seeded teams, they will be hosting the return game, the second match at their home. And actually, there is no match to host because they have a bye, so they will be moving on to the 8 finals without playing any matches. So this is a lucky draw for Maribor.
Very, very lucky.
We continue with Vitesse Neuchâtel UC of Switzerland, which is seated in position number 12.
Oh, baby.
And that's another bye. So also the Swiss team will not be playing any matches in the 16 finals. They will continue straight on to the 8 finals.
Now, Federico, how many buys do we have?
We do have still a number of buys left. So let's see who gets a lucky draw again. Dresdner SC of Germany is the next seeded team. You might remember them from the Champions League. They have been around now for a number of years in the European Cups. So
I remember them because they kicked our butts when we played
against
them.
That's interesting to know. So, Nourisha, who is going to play against Dresdner SC in the 16 finals of the CEV Cup Women?
And
that is a team that will be coming down from the early rounds of the Champions League. So Dresdner have to be patient for a little while until they find out the name of their opponent. We have another German team seeded next, SSC Palmberg Schwerin.
Whoa.
So they also have a bye into the next round. So no matches in the 16 finals for Schwerin. The Germans are through to the 8 finals without taking to the court at all.
Wow. So
they will be grateful to
I
you,
think
Nourisha.
they will. My PayPal account is, no, I'm just kidding.
Železničar Lajkovac of Serbia is the next seeded team. We are now moving, Nourisha, to the lower section of the bracket.
Okay.
Please.
And that is?
That is a team coming from the Champions League early rounds. So Lajkovac will have to wait for a few weeks until they find out
who.
which team they will be playing in the 16 finals. The next seeded team, Norisha, allow me to spend a couple of words on them. Reale Mutua Feneracchieri 76 of Italy, they caused a sensation last year because they were not supposed to be playing in the European Cups, but they contested the Webza Cup, which is a zonal competition. And by winning their competition, they qualified for the Challenge Cup. And sensationally, they went from the early rounds all the way to the final, and they lifted the trophy in the end. So this is quite a remarkable story, that there is always a chance and that you have to fight for yourself.
That's
And they really, I mean, wrote history for themselves and for the Italian volleyball family at the same time. So now they are back on the European stage, this time not playing the Challenge Cup, so not defending their title, but playing in the CEV Cup instead.
That's the beauty of sport, right?
Yes.
Anybody can win on any given day.
Please,
So
Norisha,
let's
let's find out who they are due to play in the 16 finals.
And that will be...
And that is FKB PowerCats Düdingen of Switzerland. Quite close by, geographically speaking, so it's a short journey for the Italians to Switzerland and the other way around as well. The next seeded team is Grupa Azoty Chemik Police of Poland. They have contested the Champions League many times. They even hosted the Final Four in 2015. This time, I mean, this season, they will be playing in the CEV Cup, which shows actually the level of the CEV Cup as well,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So, Norisha, please go ahead. And that is a team coming down from the early rounds of the Champions League as well. So for Police, a little bit of patience is needed and required until they know where they start their European journey for the 2024 season. Svietelski Bekes-Csabay of Hungary is the next seeded team. We are slowly completing the bracket, Norisha. Please go ahead.
Federico, I can see the bottom.
Yes, we have 5 balls left.
And the team is...
So playing Bekes-Csabay will be Poland's BKS Bostik Bielsko-Biała. Thank you, Norisha. We move on to the last section of this bracket in the 16 finals of the CEV Cup Women. The seeded team is actually a newcomer to the European Cups, and it's the Croatian team of Karlovac. Please.
Their destination is in this ball. And they will play...
They will also be playing a team coming down from the early rounds of the Champions League. So, again, a little bit of patience, and this name will be known in a few weeks, actually months, I mean, after the completion of the early rounds of the Champions League. VDK Bank Gent Dames of Belgium is the next seeded team. 3 balls left. Norisha, almost done.
Almost. I can see the light, Federico. And
they will also be playing a team coming down from the early rounds of the Champions League. Actually, a team finishing 3rd in the 2nd round. Okay. So 2 teams left. I mean, when it comes to the seeded teams, we have Levallois Paris Saint-Cloud of France. Norisha, please go ahead. So the French team will be playing against another team coming down from the early rounds of the Champions League. And to this extent, Norisha, just let me remind everyone there to find out who is who.
yes.
Please check after completion of the live streaming, the CEV website and social media channels. We will be publishing all of the charts, and you will easily identify who is who and also follow the interconnections between competitions.
Thank you. Thank you, Federico.
Last but not least, the seeded team is THY Istanbul of Turkey.
Oh, why did I spin it? It's only 1 ball. I'm
That's a
sorry.
habit. You just want to make sure that this is done properly.
And,
and that's a bye. So no matches for Istanbul, THY Istanbul, in the 16 finals of the CEV Cup. They will be moving on straight to the 8 finals. With this, we have finalized the draw for the CEV Cup women because everything is set from the 16 finals. We will continue to the 8 finals. But let me also remind people, Narisha, that in the quarterfinals, these teams, those contesting the CEV Cup, will be joined by 4 teams coming down after completion of the pool stage of the Champions League. Well, that concludes the draw for the Women's CEV Cup, but we have a lot more in store, don't we?
Yes, we do. And Federico, thank you very much for the explanation once more. And as you said, the road is now defined for the CEV Cup, but we still are not finished. And there's also some more information that you would like to give based on the CEV Cup, that there's keeping in mind that in the quarterfinals, we will find teams who failed to reach the knockout stage of the Champions League. They will also be
That's correct.
there.
That's what I just said. There is an interconnection between the Champions League and the CEV Cup also later on in the season, not just at the beginning of the season. Well, we are now good to go with the draw for the men's CEV Cup, and there is a difference compared to the women's CEV Cup because we started with the 16 finals just a little while ago, but here we started with the 32nd finals. That's due to the fact that we have a very high number of registered teams, which is good for volleyball, which is good for the sports, which is good for the CEV as well. We would like to have as many as possible joining the competition and testing themselves on the European stage. We start with the 32nd finals. We have already seeded 8 teams as from the chart that is being shown to all of you following from home. These teams, seeded ones, they will be hosting the return match at home. That's a privilege that they have because of their higher ranking. This is done based on the latest ranking, which combines the results in the CEV Cup and the Challenge Cup. But we do have now the teams to be drawn. And these, we will go from top to bottom as we just did, Narisha, with the women's competition.
So similar procedure.
Please go ahead. And we start with the team that will be playing against Epicentr Podoliani Horodok of Ukraine. And that is Dekospan Vetemenen of Belgium, a team that played in the Champions League last year for the first time ever. Now they return to the European stage to play in the CEV Cup instead. The next seeded team is another one which has a long tradition and history in the European Cups. It's OK Vojvodina Novi Sad of Serbia. Narisha, your turn. As you can see, we are slowly emptying the teams that are to be drawn from this cup, and it is Zhytychi Zhytomyr of Ukraine. So Zhytomyr will be playing against Novi Sad in the 32nd finals of the men's CEV Cup. The next seeded team is one that has a lot of tradition in the European Cups as well. They played in the Champions League, they played in the CEV Cup, they have achieved success. So Arkas Izmir of Turkey are waiting now for you to perform the draw, Narisha, and to define the name of their opponent.
The balls are camouflaged in my outfit.
And it is Mursa Osijek of Croatia. So the Croatian team will be hosting the Turkish team first and then travel to Turkey for the return game. We continue with the next seeded team. It's Nantes Rézé Métropole of France.
Mm-hmm. And that team is?
Is Narbonne Volley of France. So there is a French derby in the 32nd finals of the CEV Cup men. That's an interesting thing. No such a long journey, and it's a domestic rivalry which will be taken to the European stage instead this time.
I'm sure those two teams are very happy.
Kladno Volleyball CZ of Czechia is the next seeded team, position number 10.
Narisha, we have 4 balls left, and that's all according. So Carrure Volley Gent of Belgium will be playing against the Czech team. Lindaren Volley Amrisville of Switzerland is the next seeded team in the 32nd finals of the CEV Cup. Narisha, let's...
3 more balls.
Yes. Let's get the job done.
Yes. So, Federico?
The Swiss team will be playing against Radnitsky Kragujevac of Serbia. We are slowly finalizing this draw, and we have TSV Raiffeisen Hartberg of Austria seeded next. And they will be playing against Poland's Aluron CMC Warta Zawiercie. That's a team that last year played in the Champions League for the first time.
That's right.
And they did so with much success because they even made it to the elimination stage of the competition. Now they are back on the European stage playing the CEV Cup. But this really shows, Nourisha, the level of the competition in the CEV Cup as well.
That's
this
right,
is,
very high. It's
Yes,
very,
yeah.
very high.
Let's get the job done and finalize this first draw.
One more
We
ball.
have Volley Schönenwert of Switzerland as the last seeded team in the 32nd finals. And they will be playing against Smyrni Athens of Greece. Well, this concludes the first draw for the CEV Cup Men 2024. Actually, Nourisha, we are not done yet with the CEV Cup Men because that's the only competition today for which we have 2 draws. Apart of, for the Champions League, we had also the 4th round to be drawn, but for all of the other cups. And let's get the job done.
Let's get the job done.
The graphic that is being shown now on the screen shows the teams to be drawn. And that's a little bit such a complicated draw, not a complicated draw, but it's not such an easy thing to perform because all of these teams are not known yet because we have to wait for completion of the early rounds in the Champions League or for completion of the 32nd finals in the CEV Cup. But regardless of this, we have to perform the draw.
That's right.
And we have a number of teams already seeded in the 16 finals, as you will be seeing just in a moment when the next chart is going to be shown. And
as you said, Federico, for those teams that we are not, that we don't know yet, our viewers can go on the website, on the CEV website later and then see.
Yes, of course. It's not that easy to identify who is who at this stage because we have to complete the early rounds of the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly.
But at least you have an understanding of which teams are potentially involved in one or the other clash.
That's right.
So we go from top to bottom, as we have done already before, with the Women's CEV Cup and also with the 32nd finals. Nourisha, let's start. We have the first seeded team being Rio Duero Soria of Spain. And we do this slowly to allow our colleagues with the graphics time to process everything. And that's the winner of the CEV Cup 32nd finals matches 3 and 4. The next seeded team is Chinois Genève of Switzerland. All of the seeded teams, Nourisha, just to remind everyone, will be playing the return matches at home. That's again some sort of a privilege, a reward that they get because of the position of their national federation in the latest ranking, combining CEV Cup and Challenge Cup.
This is good.
So to play against Chinois Genève, we have the 3rd ranked team from the Champions League Pool 1. Now, Nourisha, as you can see from the charts, we have 2 empty rows.
That's right.
So that means that it's in your hands to draw the home team and the away team, as we have not seeded any team in this pairing, in these brackets. Please go ahead.
So double work for me, right?
Double work, yes.
As long as I get the title ambassador.
Yeah. But you have been an ambassador for a long time already, haven't you?
True, that's right. Thank you. Almost 10 years we've been working together.
So the first team that Nourisha has drawn is the 4th ranked team from the Champions League Men Pool 6. Again, it sounds a little bit enigmatic, but when the time comes, we will know which team this is.
That's
Yes.
right. Actually, I like surprises,
Yeah.
So.
So let's go now for the next draw. So to complete positions 23 and 24. And that is the winner of the 32nd finals matches 5 and 6. And if our fans and viewers go back to the website, they will easily find out which 2 teams are involved in this clash.
Okay.
The next seeded team is Čes Karlovarsko of Czechia. And they will be playing a team coming down from the Champions League early rounds, the one finishing 3rd in Pool 3. The next seeded team is a German team that played Champions League last year, SVD Power Volleys Düren. This time they have qualified to represent their country in the CEV Cup. Nourisha, let's go ahead.
And their destiny is in my hand. Let's see who they will play.
And that's again a team coming down from the early rounds of the Champions League, the one finishing 4th in Pool 1. The next seeded team is SK Zadruga Eichdob of Austria. Nourisha. We are slowly but surely moving our way from the top to the bottom of the bracket.
I can see the light, Federico.
And we have a winner of the 32nd final matches, 15-16. Again, Nourisha, sorry about that, but double the work for you as we have 2 empty rows for positions 31 and 32.
It's okay, I'm ready, I'm ready. So the first team will be?
The winner of the 32nd final matches, 9 and 10. So these are teams already in the CEV Cup, not
That's
coming down from the Champions League.
And let's see who they will play. And they will play against
Against a team coming down from the Champions League, the one finishing 3rd in the first round, Pool 2. Chaumont VB 52 of France is the next seeded team. Nourisha, will they play somebody coming from the Champions League or already in the CEV Cup? We will find out in a moment.
We'll find out. Let's see. The moment of truth, Federico. Let's see. And
that is the winner of the CEV Cup 32nd final matches, 7 and 8. So the first half of the bracket is done. Nourisha, we continue with the lower section. And we start with the next seeded team, which is Hebar Pazarchik of Bulgaria. And as I said, with all of the seeded teams, they will be hosting the return matches at home.
we have the red theme going on here. Red balls, red top. Oh.
And it's again winner of 32nd final matches, this time the matches 13 and 14. SCM Craiova of Romania is the next seeded team, position number 38. Nourisha, please go ahead.
Slowly getting there, Federico.
Yes.
I see the brackets are starting to fill. And?
It's the winner of the 32nd final matches, 11 and 12. PAOK Thessaloniki of Greece is the next seeded team. Will they play someone coming from the Champions League or already in the CEV Cup?
Let's have a look.
And it is a team coming down from the Champions League, the one finishing 3rd in Pool 4. Allianz Milano, a former winner of the Challenge Cup, will be playing the CEV Cup this year. So let's find out what the destiny of the Italians looks like. Again, we have 2 options, a team from the early rounds of the Champions League or a team coming from the 32nd finals of the CEV Cup.
Isn't it incredible that the destiny is in this small red ball?
Yeah.
Let's see, Federico. And?
It is a winner of the 32nd final matches, number 1 and 2. Again, please go back to our website after the DOL has finished. You will find all of the charts, all of the graphics, and you will be able to identify who is who. We have 4 teams, actually 3 teams seeded still, and there is another pairing, where we have to draw both teams.
Yep.
Nourisha, let's start with Samen Lycurgus Groningen of the Netherlands, which are seeded on position number 44.
Okay. And that team, which they will compete against
is a team coming down from the Champions League, from the second round, and the one finishing third in Pool 6. Volley Haasro de Leuven of Belgium is the next seeded team. They have position number 46 on the chart.
Mm-hmm. Four teams left, Federico.
And it is the third-ranked team from the Champions League second round, Pool 5. Now, one last time, Narisha, double the work for you, as we have two empty rows, 47 and 48. Please go ahead.
There you go. So, for the first slot?
That is the fourth-ranked team from the Pool 5 in the second round of the Champions League.
And the second?
That's the next to last team drawn in the CEV Cup overall.
Mm-hmm.
And that's again a team coming down from the early rounds of the Champions League, actually from the first round, Pool 3. And, Narisha, we are almost done. Fenerbahce HDI Istanbul of Turkey are the highest ranked and seeded team in this competition by virtue of their national federation's position in the latest ranking. So please.
So let's see. And they will compete
against a team also coming down from the Champions League second round. The second-ranked team that will not be making it to the pool stage of the competition. Thank you, Narisha. That was a bit of a, how to say, special draw with so many teams, not known yet. And but we have to get the season underway first. The early rounds of the Champions League will have to be played. Also the 32nd finals in the CEV Cup. And then we will really define who is who and complete this chart, which has a number of question marks, so to speak, for the time being. That concludes the draw of the CEV Cup. I mean, the road is set until the end.
That's
but
right.
Just, I would like to remind everyone that there is one more interconnection between the Champions League and the CEV Cup at a later stage in the season. And 4 teams will be coming down from the Champions League and join 4 teams in the CEV Cup in the quarterfinal stage.
That's right. Now, we have completed the CEV Cup drawing, but we are not yet finished because we have one more competition to draw, and that is the Challenge Cup. But before we continue with that draw, let's take a look at some highlights from their 2023 season.
Challenge others is also about challenge yourselves. Are you ready for the challenge?
Welcome back to the drawing of lots for the CEV European Cups 2024. Now we are ready to move on and to move forward with the Challenge Cup 2024.
Yes, Narisha, very much so. And actually, as with the CEV Cup, also in the Challenge Cup, there will be new winners, new champions by the time the season reaches its climax in the spring of 2024. Olympiacos Piraeus, we just got to see the video clip. They won the Challenge Cup last year, but they will be playing in the Champions League this time around. And as I mentioned before, Chieri had the sensational run in the Women's Challenge Cup last year, from the early rounds all the way to the final where they lifted the trophy, but they are playing the CEV Cup this time around. So none of these two teams are back and will be able to defend their titles from 2023.
Which means that
but for a good reason.
Yes, that means that there is room and opportunity for a new winner to come.
Yes.
And to wear the crown.
Let's start now with the women's competition, the Challenge Cup, and the interest in participation has been so massive, Narisha. The numbers are so big that we have to start our journey from the 32nd finals. And this is where we have already seeded 32 teams. These are those representing the higher ranked national federations. don't be worried, because you see only half of the bracket. This is the first half, and then we will be seeing the second half. Again, the principle is the same. We go from the top to the bottom, and also the seeded teams will be hosting the return matches at home. This is as a sort of a reward for the higher position they have in the European ranking, which combines CEV Cup and Challenge Cup. In this draw, there is also a number of buys. There are as many as 13, actually. So there will be some lucky draws, and some of the teams that are seeded will be progressing to the next round without playing any matches.
Did you say 13?
Yes.
That is a lot. That's like 13 lottery tickets.
Yes. Let's see who wins them.
Let's see. Federico, I think these are the most balls that we've had the whole...
That's correct, yes, that's correct. We go from top to bottom, and just some extra information, Arisha, these teams are the lowest ranked ones, the lowest from the lower ranked national federations, or we also have teams that are the number 2 and number 3 from a federation that has a team already seeded in the competition, or last but not least, we do have also the winners of zonal events, but I will be spending a couple of words on this in a moment.
So let's start, Federico. Oh, Jesus.
We start with the team that will be playing against Kaunas VDU of Lithuania.
And we are kicking it off with the first...
With the first bye. So the Lithuanians will be moving on to the 16 finals without playing any matches.
That means we have 12 buys left.
Yes, yes. 12 more tickets.
Lottery tickets.
Yeah. So the next seeded team is Olympiakos SFP Piraeus of Greece. Their men's team, as I said before, won the Challenge Cup just a few months ago.
That's right.
Let's see how the women's team will be performing in 2024. Please, Nourisha.
Let's see if they get one of the 12 buys. Okay. Whoa, Federico, I'm on a roll.
It's another buy, yes, yes. So we have the second out of 13 buys that are at stake.
Yeah.
So Olympiakos Piraeus will also be progressing to the next round of the competition without playing any matches.
That's right.
The next seeded team is Randaberg IL of Norway.
Wouldn't it be cool if I did all 13 buys in a row?
Well, let's see.
I'm just kidding. Let's see, Federico.
Is it a third in a row?
Yes, it is.
It is a third buy in a row. So the Norwegians will also be progressing to the 16 finals without having to take to the court.
Wow.
So 3 happy teams so far, Nourisha.
Yeah.
The next seeded team is an Italian team that won the Champions League in 2016. Casalmaggiore, they did so in Montichiari. They are back in the European Cups after a long break. Nourisha,
Let's see.
it's in your hands.
What do you think, Federico? Fourth buy?
I don't want to guess. And it is the Websa Cup winner. So just, some information on this, Nourisha. What does Websa stand for
Yes,
instance?
please,
This is the Western European Volleyball Zonal Association. They actually include 8 national federations. They will be organizing a zonal competition in September or at the beginning of October at the latest. This competition has to feature teams from at least 4 out of the 8 national federations, and the eventual winners will be getting the right to join the Challenge Cup.
Thank you very much for that explanation.
The next seeded team is Maccabi Haifa VC of Israel. And it's a bye, again. So the Israelis are also through to the next round without playing any matches. We continue with Jok Ob of Serbia, a team that played in the Champions League before. This time around, they have qualified to represent their country in the Challenge Cup. Nourisha.
Let's see.
And that's Kelag Wildcats Klagenfurt of Austria. So the Austrians will be hosting the first match, and then the return game will be played in Serbia. as the Serbian team is seeded and has a higher position in the ranking. Kanti Schaffhausen of Switzerland is the next seeded team, position number 14. Nourisha, we still have quite a long way to go.
It seems like the same amount of balls in this since we
But we have
started.
done a few already, actually.
I think so, yeah. We have 4 buys
And another bye. So also the Swiss team of Schaffhausen will not be playing any matches in the 32nd finals. They move on directly to the 16 finals.
That's right. I'm sure this team is very happy.
Yeah, I guess so. CSO Voluntari 2005 of Romania is the next seeded team in this section of the bracket. Please, Nourisha. No bye this time around, and it's AEK Athens of Greece, which will be hosting the Romanian team and then traveling to Romania for the return match. The next seeded team is Levski Sofia of Bulgaria. Nourisha. And it's a bye again. So also for Levski Sofia, no matches at all in the 32nd finals of the CEV Challenge Cup 2024. We continue with Dinamo Zagreb of Croatia. They are the next seeded team, and so they will be hosting the return match. If there is a match to be played, let's see.
Let's see what And there is a match.
There is a match to be played, and it's a Croatian derby with Ribola Castela. So Castela will be hosting the first match, and the rematch will be played in Zagreb. We continue with the next seeded team, Olympiada Neapolis Nicosia of Cyprus. And it is almost a derby, not a derby, but almost, as they are due to play AC PAOK Thessaloniki of Greece. We continue with Veka Prostejov of Czechia, team that played in the Champions League for many, many years. You might remember them, Nourisha.
Yes.
This time they have qualified to represent their country in the Challenge Cup. Let's see. There is still a number of buys at stake.
Quite a few. Oh, speaking of buys.
That's one of those left. So for the Czech team, no matches in the 32nd finals. They will progress straight to the 16 finals of the Challenge Cup.
I'm sure they're happy about that.
Well, yeah, I guess so too. We are almost done with the first half of the bracket. Nourisha, let's define the opponent for Hämeenlinna LR of Finland.
And that's
And that is another bye. Also for the Finnish team, no matches in the 32nd finals. They go straight on to the 16 finals. It's an easy start to the season.
It's really, right? You know?
We continue with Kairos Ponta Delgada of Portugal from the very west of Europe. So please.
Go. And
they will be playing against the winner of the BVA Cup. Just a couple of words again, Nourisha. We mentioned before the zonal event run by the Western European Volleyball Zonal Association, WEVZA. In this case, we have a zonal competition run by the BVA, which stands for the Balkan Volleyball Association, which is due to be contested in September or at the beginning of October at the latest. And the winner of this competition will secure the right to contest the Challenge Cup, and they will be playing against Kairos Ponta Delgada in the 32nd finals.
Federico, I'm so glad you're here. You were able to explain everything.
Well, that's a bit too much.
eloquently.
Well, we continue now. We have almost finished the first half of the bracket, Nourisha, and we have Rekenschap Roeselare of Belgium as the seeded team for position number 30, and it's in your hands now.
Here we go. I'm beginning to see the bottom. And
it's Sliedrecht Sport of the Netherlands, so it's almost a derby. I mean, the two neighboring countries will be playing against each other, so the Dutch team hosting the first match and then traveling to Belgium for the return game. Last but not least, for this first half of the bracket, we have VC Wiesbaden of Germany, a team that you remember from your years in the Bundesliga.
That's right, that's correct.
Please go ahead, Norisha.
For my former opponent.
Yes.
Drum roll, please. And they have a bye.
They have a bye as well. So the German team will not be taken to the court in the 32nd finals. They will be doing so once action continues in the 16 finals. Well, Norisha, the first half of the bracket is done. And now we
Yes.
continue with the second half. Still a lot of work to do for the two of us. And the chart is now being shown. And again, we have a number of seeded teams. And these are those representing the higher ranked national federations. And as a reward, let's say, they will be hosting the return match at home.
Which is a good advantage.
Yes.
To play at home.
We start with the next seeded team, which is the Dutch team of Zwolle. Please, Norisha, go ahead. And they will be playing against Panathinaikos Athens of Greece. No need to spend too many words to introduce a club that is a legendary organization that has been achieving so much in many different sports, from basketball to volleyball. And
they've been around for
yes,
a while.
yes. The next seeded team is Janaj Volley Nova Gorica of Slovenia. And as they are seeded, they will be hosting the return match at home.
And
there is no match to host because they have a bye.
A bye.
So meaning they will be moving straight on to the 16 finals.
That's right.
CSM Bucuresti of Romania is the next seeded team, position number 38.
Oh, another one.
Another one. So also for the Romanian team, no matches in this stage of the competition. They will be starting their journey directly from the 16 finals.
I'm sure they're happy, huh?
Fatum Nyíregyháza of Hungary is the next seeded team in the 32nd finals of the Challenge Cup. Norisha, we are slowly emptying this cup, which looked very, imposing.
The never-ending story, that's what it looked like.
Please.
But luckily, yellow is my favorite color, so there you go.
So, Volley Andalusia of Spain will be playing against the Hungarian team. We are moving from the top to the bottom of the bracket, so we continue with SC Balta of Ukraine.
Here we go.
They were seeded in position number 42.
And
they play Azerbaycan Baku of Azerbaijan. So the first match will be in Baku, and then Balta will have to host the return match. Avarca de Menorca of Spain is the next seeded team. Norisha. And they will be playing against UVC Holding Graz of Austria. We continue. We are moving slowly, but surely. Yes. PVK Olim Praha of the Czech Republic, or Czechia. That's the next seeded team in our bracket, please. They will be playing against Friso Snake of the Netherlands. First match will be in the Netherlands and the second one in the Czech capital city. Neptune Nantes of France is the next seeded team, waiting now for you to define their destiny. Will there be matches to play, or is it a lucky draw? Let's see. There will be matches to play against Pölki Kuusamo of Finland. We move now to the second half of this section of the bracket, where we have seeded Holte EF of Denmark.
Here we go. We're getting there, Federico.
Yes, it must be reassuring for you, Norisha, to see that this is being emptied slowly but surely. So, Sporting Lisboa of Portugal will be playing against Holte EF of Denmark in the 32nd finals. Charleroi Volley of Belgium is the next seeded team, position 52. There will be matches to play against Serbia's Tent Obrenovac. We move to the next pairing, so positions 53 and 54. The seeded team in this case is Rabotnitsky Skopje of North Macedonia. And they are due to play CSM Lugoj of Romania. So it's a Balkan derby. First match will be in Romania,
And then
the return match in Skopje. Now, SM Esch Pfeffingen of Switzerland. Narisha, you did spend some time in the Swiss
I
league as
did,
well, so that's a
yes.
team that you
that
remember
I'm
as well.
familiar with.
Yes.
It's a very strong team in Switzerland. So let's see who
Yeah.
they will play against. Their opponent will be, that magic touch.
It is a bye, so for the Swiss team, no matches in the 32nd finals. They continue straight to the 16 finals. We have 4 teams left, 4 seeded ones and 4 to be drawn. We start with the team that will be playing against Trnava of Slovakia. Please, Narisha. We are almost through.
Yes, we are.
And it is Oberbank Steel Volleys Lindsteg of Austria. So it's almost a derby, so not such a long journey
Not too
for the
far.
Austrians and the Slovakians to undertake. We have an Austrian team seeded next. We just mentioned an Austrian team, but the next one is seeded, and it's T-Volley Innsbruck.
Let's take a look.
They will be playing against another team from Slovakia, VK Pirane Brusno. So we have 2 times in a row matches between Austria and Slovakia. That's an interesting draw.
Yes, very.
Marina Kastela of Croatia is the next to last seeded team in the 32nd finals of the Challenge Cup Women. Narisha, we are getting there.
We're getting there. Oh my gosh, I can see the bottom. And
we have a bye for the Croatian team. So Marina Kastela will not be playing any matches in the 32nd finals and continue their journey straight on in the 16 finals. Last but not least, Nilüfer Belediye Bursa of Turkey. This is the highest ranked team and the highest seeded team in the competition. Last but not least,
let's see
Narisha.
what they have.
Yeah.
And they have.
They will be playing against ASP Thetis Vula of Greece. Thank you, Narisha. That was a long journey, so to speak, to finalize this draw, but I believe the road is set. We have finalized the draw for the 32nd finals. Everything is clear. The competition will continue all the way until the spring of 2024, and this is when we will be crowning the new winners of the Women's Challenge Cup and those following in the footsteps of Reale Mutua Fenera Chieri.
That's right. So here we go, Federico.
Yes. So now, after finalizing the draw for the Women's Challenge Cup, we have one last competition,
That's right.
which is the Men's Challenge Cup. And again, we don't have the same numbers, as impressive
No,
as for the
yeah.
women's competition, but still, we will be starting the competition from the 32nd finals. And this is where we have already seeded a number of teams. We do have teams to be drawn. These are the teams representing the lower ranked national federations, or the number 2 and number 3 teams of federations with a team already seeded, plus the winners of those zonal competitions that we have already mentioned a couple of times before. And this time there will be 3 buys only.
Only 3. Okay.
Good, Narisha. Let's get started. So who is due to play Omonia Nicosia?
And that team is?
Panvita Pomgrad Murska Sobota of Slovenia. And again, the principle is the same. The seeded teams will be hosting the return matches. This is, again, a reward for the results achieved by their national federations and teams from the same country over the last 3 seasons before that one that was just finished a couple of months ago.
Thank you.
VCA Amstetten NÖ of Austria is the next seeded team, position number 4. Narisha, your turn again. and that is the team of Előre Székesfehérvár of Hungary. The next seeded team is AK Volley of Finland.
I will take this out.
So Norisha, Merkur Maribor of Slovenia, who previously played in the Champions League. This time they are contesting the Challenge Cup. They will be playing against AK Volley of Finland. Club Volleyball Melilla of Spain is the next seeded team, position number 8. Norisha, go ahead.
And it is the first.
That's the first bye,
Bye.
yes. So the Spanish team will not be playing any matches, meaning that they will continue their journey directly in the 16 finals.
16 final.
SK Tirana of Albania is the next seeded team, position number 10.
And they will play against.
They will be playing Maccabi Tel Aviv of Israel. Let me just spend a couple of words on this team. Norisha, they
Yes.
reached the final of the Challenge Cup in 2023. So they made it all the way to the title deciding matches, where they lost to Olympiacos in the end. So I'm sure they are back, chasing further success and hungry for revenge.
I think so too.
Steaua Bucuresti of Romania is the next team, that we have seeded in the 32nd finals of the Challenge Cup. Norisha, your turn again. And it is VC Lorenzweiler of Luxembourg, so a team from close by, let's say.
Not too far away.
They will be hosting the first match here in Luxembourg and then travel to Romania to play Steaua for a spot in the 16 finals. The next seeded team is Calcit Kamnik of Slovenia. We have seen already their women's team in the Champions
That's
League,
right.
so now we have the men's team in the Challenge Cup.
Cup.
Norisha, let's go ahead.
And their opponent will be.
And it is Viking Tief Bergen of Norway. Deja Volley Burgas of Bulgaria is seeded next. Norisha? Triglav Kranj of Slovenia. So the Slovenian team will be hosting the Bulgarians first and then travel to Burgas. Seeded next is Hapoel Mate Asher Akko of Israel.
And their fate is.
They will be playing the winner of the WEVSA Cup. Just once more, just repeat, just to repeat, what this competition is all about. That's a zonal event organized by the Western European Volleyball Zonal Association. This association includes 8 national federations. A minimum of teams from 4 countries have to register for participation. And after the end of the WEVSA Cup, the winners will be taking a spot in the Challenge Cup. The next seeded team is the Dutch team of Linne.
And they will compete
Against Mjölnir Klaksvik of the Faroe Islands. And again, just a couple of words, Norisha, because it is the first time ever in history that not just this team, but any team from the Faroe Islands has registered for participation in the European Cups. So this is history in the making. They will be the first ones to achieve this feat. They will be hosting the Dutch team in the 32nd finals of the Challenge Cup and then travel to the Netherlands for the return match. I'm sure this is a groundbreaking moment, not just for the team itself, but
for the country,
for the country as a whole.
Yes. Something to be very proud of.
TJ Spartak Mijava of Slovakia is seated next. We are slowly moving all the way down. Who is going to play the Slovak team? And that's Hari Bulbul Shusha of Azerbaijan. And allow me to spend a couple of words for this team as well. Nourisha, we have two representatives of the club here with us. They made a very long journey from Azerbaijan to join us today for the drawing of lots. This is history in the making for their club. We have the club president here, Mr. Husseinov, and we have the founder of the club and the director, Mr. Imam Guliev. A warm welcome and a warm welcome also to the team.
Yeah.
Best of luck for your first participation in the European Cups.
That's right. Congratulations on this huge step. So let's see.
Sporting Lisboa of Portugal is seated next.
And
They have a bye. So a lucky draw for the Portuguese team. No matches in the 32nd finals. They will continue straight on to the 16 finals. Førde VBK of Norway is the next seeded team. We are almost done, Nourisha.
Almost.
4 teams seeded, 4 teams to draw. Please go ahead.
okay. Federico. And that is?
The winner of the BVA Cup, so again, the winner of a zonal competition. This one is run by the Balkan Volleyball Association. Seated next is a team from close by as well, the Volleyball Club Strossen here from Luxembourg. Please, Nourisha. Let's see where they are going to go. And they go to Slovakia, as they are due to play Riker UJS Komárno, a team that made history a few years ago by becoming the first men's team from Slovakia to play in the Champions League.
Wow.
So they will be hosting the Luxembourgish champions first and then come over to Luxembourg to play the return match.
How cool is it, this history making in our sport?
Yeah,
right?
absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely.
Two more
Next to
teams.
last, yes, the next to last team seeded in this round of the Challenge Cup is Pensugyör Budapest of Hungary. And their destiny is in your hands. 2 balls left, Nourisha.
Here we go. And they will compete against
Hapoel Yoav Kfar Saba of Israel. Last but not least, we have Kifisias Athens of Greece, seated in position number 32. Nourisha, your last draw for today.
last draw. I can't believe it. Oh my God. Federico. Ah. And what better way to end than with
The lucky draw
With
and
the
a
lucky
bye for
draw.
the Greek team, so they don't have to play any matches in the 32nd finals. Nourisha, this concludes the draw for the 32nd finals of the Challenge Cup Men. The 16 winners of these rounds will progress to the 16 finals, and we will be seeing now, 16 teams have already been seeded in the 16 finals. So these 16 progressing from the 32nd finals will join those already seeded there. And everything is clear. We know who goes where, and we just can't wait for the season to start.
That's right. That's right. I'm looking forward to it. Now, Federico, this concludes today's drawing of lots. I want to thank you, my colleague, my dear friend of many, many years.
My
Yes.
pleasure.
It's been, and I really enjoy working with you because you get the part where you have to explain and talk about the teams and give the explanations, and nobody can do it better than you can.
Thank you very much. I did my best. I hope people will be happy.
Yeah, I'm sure they are happy. I'm happy. And before we sign off, I would like to thank all of the workers, all of the people, everyone who has worked endlessly, tirelessly, for hours, for weeks, for days, behind the scenes to prepare this drawing of lots for our viewers, for us. Thank you very much for your support, for your efforts. And for more information, please check out the CEV official channels. And there, as Federico said earlier, you can find more information about the teams and who they will play and the winners of certain matches to determine who the teams will play. And with that said, Federico, all good things must come to an end, but we never say goodbye. We always say see you later. So we are looking forward to seeing you at some of the games, upcoming games in the next season. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. And until the next time we meet, see you later.
Bye.